Here's your wallet. But please, save my mama.
Where is she?
David Carter had always considered himself a careful man. He checked his pockets twice before leaving anywhere, kept his belongings organized, and never lost important items. So when he reached for his wallet at the corner store on 7th Avenue and found nothing but lint, his heart dropped into his stomach. The evening fog rolled through the narrow alley behind the store as David retraced his steps, his breath forming small clouds in the chilly air. The city had grown quieter since the arrival 5 years ago, when the first alien refugees had come seeking sanctuary. Most humans had adapted, though some neighborhoods remained tense with unspoken prejudice. "Excuse me, sir." The voice was small, trembling, and came from the shadows near the dumpsters. David turned, his eyes adjusting to the dim light, and saw her. She couldn't have been more than 7 or 8 years old, by human standards at least. Her skin was a soft jade green, dotted with golden freckles that seemed to glow faintly in the darkness. Pointed ears poked through her long, dark hair, and her enormous brown eyes held a mixture of fear and desperate hope. Her dress was torn and dirty, far too thin for the cold evening. In her small, 3-fingered hands, she clutched his leather wallet. "Is this yours?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. David's first instinct was relief, quickly followed by concern. The child was alone, shivering, and looked like she hadn't eaten in days. Her knees were scraped, and there was a bruise on her arm. "Yes, that's mine," he said gently, crouching down to her level. "Thank you so much for finding it. What's your name, sweetheart?" "Zira," she replied, extending the wallet toward him with both hands, as if it were something precious and fragile. I found it near the market. I've been looking for you." David took the wallet and opened it. Everything was there, his credit cards, his cash, even the photo of his late wife tucked in the clear sleeve. He pulled out a $20 bill and offered it to the girl. "Here, for being so honest. You can buy yourself something warm to eat." But Zira didn't take the money. Instead, her large eyes filled with tears that caught the streetlight like tiny stars. Her lower lip trembled, and she looked down at her bare feet, one of which was bleeding slightly. "I don't want money," she whispered. "I need something else, something more important." David's chest tightened. He'd seen enough suffering in this city to recognize a child in real trouble. "What do you need, Zira? Are you lost? Where are your parents?" "My mother," Zira said, her voice breaking. "She's dying. We came here 3 months ago from the refugee camp outside the city. She got sick 2 weeks ago, and the free clinic said they can't help her anymore. They said she needs medicine, but it costs too much. They sent us away." The girl's shoulders shook with silent sobs. David felt something crack inside his chest, the same place that had broken when he'd lost his own wife to cancer years ago. The same helpless rage at a system that put price tags on survival. "What kind of medicine?" he asked. Zira pulled a crumpled piece of paper from her dress pocket. David smoothed it out and read the prescription. Xenobiotics, a specialized medication designed to treat infections in non-human biology. His eyes caught the price notation at the bottom, and he understood immediately why the clinic had turned them away. $1,500 for a single course of treatment. "Where is your mother now?" "In our room." "It's not far. Please." Zira's voice cracked with desperation. "Everyone I asked just walked away. Some people were mean. They said we should go back where we came from. But you seemed kind, so I waited for you. I know it's not fair to ask, but I don't know what else to do. The lady at the pharmacy said someone has to pay for it by tomorrow, or they'll give it to someone else. Without it, my mother will." She couldn't finish the sentence. She didn't have to. David looked at this small, brave child who had spent hours searching for a stranger to return his wallet, when she could have easily taken the money and run. A child who had been turned away and insulted, yet still believed in the goodness of others enough to ask for help one more time. He thought of his wife, of the bills that had piled up, of the friends and strangers who had helped when he couldn't afford to help himself. He thought of the wallet in his hands, returned intact by a desperate child who had nothing. "Take me to your mother," he said. The walk took 15 minutes through streets David had never ventured down. Zira led him to a converted warehouse that had been subdivided into tiny rooms, a shelter for refugee families. The smell of too many people in too small a space mixed with cooking odors and mildew. They climbed 3 flights of creaking stairs. The room was barely large enough for a mattress on the floor. A woman lay there, her green skin pale and grayish, her breathing shallow and labored. Her resemblance to Zira was unmistakable, though illness had hollowed her cheeks and dimmed the glow of her freckles. "Mama," Zira whispered, kneeling beside her. "I found him, the kind man." The mother's eyes opened, struggling to focus. "Zira, you shouldn't have troubled anyone." David pulled out his phone and called a pharmacy. "This is David Carter. I need to place an order for pickup. Xenobiotics, prescription number." He read off the paper. "I'll be there in 30 minutes to pay for it." He hung up and turned to find both Zira and her mother staring at him with identical expressions of disbelief. "But we can't possibly," the mother began. "You're not asking," David interrupted gently. "I'm offering. Your daughter returned something valuable to me. Let me return the favor." Zira launched herself at him, wrapping her thin arms around his waist. "Thank you," she sobbed into his jacket. "Thank you, thank you, thank you." David's hand rested on her head, feeling the warmth of her small body, the desperate gratitude in her grip. In that moment, he understood something profound. Humanity wasn't about what planet you came from or what you looked like. It was about this, the choice to help when you could, to see someone else's child as worthy of saving as your own. "Come on," he said to Zira, gently untangling himself. "Let's go get that medicine. Your mother needs it tonight." As they walked back into the foggy streets, Zira slipped her small hand into his. David looked down at her grateful smile and realized that his wallet hadn't been lost at all. Sometimes, he thought, the most valuable things we lose are the ones that lead us to exactly where we need to be. And sometimes, the smallest hands carry the biggest reminders of what it truly means to be human.